The red dust of planet Kepler 442b swirled around Captain Jake Morrison's boots as he walked toward the smoking wreck. His breathing mask made every breath feel heavy and wet. The crash site looked like hell itself had opened up and spat out twisted metal across the rocky ground. "Stay sharp, people," Jake said into his radio. "We don't know what we're dealing with here." Behind him, his 3 team members spread out in a line. Sergeant Lisa Parker moved to his left, her rifle ready. She was tough as nails and never missed a shot. Corporal Danny Rodriguez took the right side, scanning for threats with his eyes always moving. Medic Amy Chen stayed in the middle, her medical kit bouncing on her hip as she walked. The alien ship didn't look like anything Jake had ever seen. It was smooth and curved, like someone had grown it instead of building it. Parts of it still glowed with a strange blue light, even though black smoke poured from holes in its side. The metal looked almost alive, changing colors as the light hit it. "Never seen tech like this before," Rodriguez said. His voice sounded worried through the radio. "Command didn't say anything about unknown ships in this sector." "Command doesn't know everything," Jake replied. He kept walking toward the wreck even though something in his gut told him to be careful. Very careful. The distress signal had been weak but clear. Someone was calling for help. Jake's job was to check it out and report back to their ship, the carrier vessel Endeavor, which waited in orbit above them. Simple mission: get in, look around, get out. But nothing about this felt simple. As they got closer to the ship, Jake could see bodies through the broken hull. They weren't human. These aliens had long, thin arms and legs. Their skin looked pale blue, almost white. Some kind of clear liquid pooled around them. Probably blood. "All dead," Chen said quietly. She had moved up to peer through a large hole in the ship's side. "Wait, I'm reading life signs from deeper inside." Jake's heart beat faster. "Just one?" "Yes, sir." "Weak but steady." Parker raised her rifle higher. "Could be a trap, Captain. Unknown species, unknown tech. We should call it in and wait for backup." Rodriguez nodded. "She's right. We don't know if these things are friendly or hostile. Command will want to know about this." Jake looked at the twisted metal and thought about the person inside. Alien or not, someone was hurt and alone in there. His sister Kate used to say that you could tell what kind of person someone was by what they did when no one was watching. Right now, only his team was watching. "Chen, how long before that life sign fades?" he asked. The medic checked her scanner again. Hard to say with alien biology. Could be minutes, could be hours. Jake's radio crackled. "Morrison, this is Captain Stone on the Endeavor. We're reading a massive storm system moving in fast. You have 30 minutes to finish up and get back to the ship." "Copy that, Captain," Jake replied. 30 minutes. Not much time. He looked at his team. They were good people, all of them. They trusted him to make the right call. The safe call would be to mark the location and leave. Let the science teams come back later with proper equipment. "I'm going in," Jake said. "Sir, I really think we should—" Parker started. "Stay here and watch for threats. Chen, you're with me. Bring your kit." Jake squeezed through the hole in the ship's hull. Inside, the air felt thick and warm. Strange. Lights blinked on the walls, casting blue and green shadows everywhere. The ship's corridor curved in a way that made him feel dizzy. He followed Chen's scanner deeper into the ship. The floor felt soft under his boots, almost like walking on living tissue. Everything about this place seemed wrong to his human senses. They found the survivor in what looked like the ship's control room. She was trapped under a fallen beam, but still breathing. Jake's first look at her face made him stop cold. She looked almost human, but not quite. Her skin was pale blue with thin lines of light running under it like veins made of stars. Her hair was white as snow and seemed to move on its own. But her eyes looked completely human. Brown and warm and very, very aware. When she saw Jake, she didn't try to fight or run. She just looked at him with those human eyes and waited, like she had given up hope but was curious to see what would happen next. "Can you understand me?" Jake asked. The alien woman blinked slowly. Her Mouth moved, but no sound came out. Chen was already scanning her with the medical equipment. Multiple broken bones, internal bleeding, but nothing immediately fatal. I can stabilize her if we can get this beam off. Jake's radio crackled again. Morrison, storm's moving faster than expected. You have 15 minutes. Copy. Jake looked at the alien woman again. Something about her reminded him of Kate. Not her appearance, but the way she looked at him. Kate had looked at him the same way the day she died in the mining accident. Resigned, but still hoping someone would help. We can't carry her in the beam. Rodriguez's voice came through the radio. It's too heavy and we're running out of time. Parker's voice followed. Captain, we need to go. Now. The winds are picking up and visibility is dropping. Jake stared at the alien woman. She was watching him, waiting to see what he would do. Her lips moved again, and this time he heard a whisper. Please. The word was in English, accented and soft but clear. His team was right. Taking her would slow them down. They might not make it back to the pickup point in time. They could all die in the storm. But she had said please. Jake grabbed one end of the beam. Chen, help me lift this. Sir, we don't have time. Help me lift it. Together, they raised the heavy beam just enough for Jake to pull the alien woman free. She was lighter than he expected, but her body was warm and very much alive. Captain Morrison, what's your status? Captain Stone's voice sounded urgent. On our way back with a survivor, Jake replied. There was a pause. Say again? We have a survivor. Alien but injured, bringing her back. Another pause. Negative. Morrison, leave the alien and return immediately. That's an order. Jake looked down at the woman in his arms. Her eyes were closed now, but she was still breathing, still alive because he chose to help her. Sorry, Captain. Radio must be breaking up. See you at the ship. He turned off his radio and started walking toward the exit. Outside, his team stared at him like he had lost his mind. The wind was howling now, and red dust filled the air like a living thing. You just disobeyed a direct order, Parker said. I know. For an alien we know nothing about, Rodriguez added. I know that too. Chen just shook her head and started walking toward their shuttle. Well, if we're doing this, we better move fast. The storm hit them halfway to the shuttle. Jake could barely see 10 feet in front of him. The wind tried to rip the alien woman from his arms, but he held on tight. His team stayed close, forming a protective circle around him. When they finally reached their shuttle, Jake could see the Endeavor pulling away from the planet. They were on their own until the storm passed. Jake laid the alien woman on the shuttle's medical bed and looked at his team. They were all staring at him, waiting for an explanation. I couldn't leave her, he said simply. Even if it gets us all killed? Rodriguez asked. Jake looked at the alien woman. She was unconscious now, but her chest still rose and fell steadily. Even then, the storm raged outside their small shuttle, trapped on an alien world with an alien stranger. Jake had no idea if he had just saved a life or doomed them all. But when he looked at those human eyes in that alien face, he knew he had made the only choice he could live with. The old mining station looked like a metal graveyard in the red dawn light. Jake carried the alien woman through the rusty doors while his team secured the building. The storm had passed, but the Endeavor wouldn't return for at least 2 weeks. Maybe longer if more storms came. Life support is barely working, Chen reported. Air recycler is shot and the heating system is failing. We'll be lucky if this place keeps us alive for 3 days. Rodriguez kicked a broken chair across the room. This is insane, Captain. We're stuck on this death trap of a planet because you wanted to play hero with some alien. That's enough, Rodriguez, Parker said quietly. But Jake could see she agreed with him. Jake laid the alien woman on a clean table in what used to be the station's medical bay. Her breathing was steady, but shallow. The blue light under her skin seemed dimmer than before. How is she? Jake asked Chen. Still alive, but I don't know for how much longer. Her body chemistry is completely different from ours. I can't even tell if she's getting enough oxygen. Chen checked her medical scanner again. Her bones are healing faster than they should, though. Much faster. Jake stared at the alien woman's face. Even unconscious, she looked peaceful, not like someone who was dying. "We need to contact the Endeavor," Parker said. "Let them know we're alive." "Already tried," Rodriguez replied. "Something's jamming our communications. Could be the storm, could be something else." Jake pulled up a chair next to the alien woman. His team was right to be angry. He had put them all in danger for a stranger. But every time he looked at her, he thought about Kate and the promise he made at her funeral. Never again would he watch someone die when he could help. "Sir," Chen said softly. "She's waking up." The alien woman's eyes opened slowly. When she saw Jake, she didn't look afraid. She just watched him with those strange, human-like eyes. "Can you understand me?" Jake asked. She nodded slightly. Her lips moved, but no sound came out at first. Then in a voice like wind through leaves, she whispered, "Yes." Rodriguez dropped his rifle in shock. "It talks." "She talks," Jake corrected. "What's your name?" The alien woman struggled to sit up. Chen helped her, being careful of her injuries. "Zara," she said. Her accent was strange, but her English was clear. "My name is Zara." "How do you know our language?" Parker asked. She kept her distance but lowered her weapon. Listen," Zara said slowly. "My people study your radio signals, your television, your internet. We learn." She looked around the room. "Where is my ship?" "Destroyed," Jake said gently. "You were the only survivor." Zara's face didn't change, but the lights under her skin flickered and dimmed. "My crew? I'm sorry." She closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them again, they were wet with tears that looked just like human tears. "Thank you," she said to Jake, "for saving me. Your people told you to leave me, yes?" Jake nodded. "How did you know?" "Because that is what my people would do. Leave the weak behind, save the strong." She looked at his team. "But you did not." Over the next few hours, Zara told them about her people, the Velnari. They were explorers and scientists who traveled the galaxy studying other species. Her ship had been attacked by pirates who stole their research data and killed her crew. "These pirates," Jake said, "do they attack human colonies too?" Zara's face grew dark. "Yes, they plan something big. My data. If they have it, they know where your colonies are weak." Rodriguez leaned forward. "What kind of something big?" "War," Zara said simply. "They want humans and Velnari to fight each other. While we destroy ourselves, they take what they want." The room went quiet. Jake felt a cold weight in his stomach. "How do we stop them?" "First we survive," Zara said. She looked around the broken station. "This place is dying," as if to prove her point. The lights flickered and the air recycler made a grinding noise before stopping completely. "That's it," Chen said. "We're breathing dead air now." Zara struggled to stand. Jake helped her, surprised by how light she felt. "Show me your machines," she said. "You're hurt. You need to rest," Jake protested. "If we all die, rest means nothing." Zara's eyes were determined. "My people know machines that live. Maybe I can help yours live too." Jake helped Zara walk to the main power room. The machines there looked like they hadn't worked properly in years. Rust covered everything, and several important parts were missing entirely. Zara placed her hands on the air recycler and closed her eyes. The blue lights under her skin grew brighter. "Do you have any organic material? Plants, food, anything that was once alive?" Chen brought some emergency rations and a small potted plant from someone's personal belongings. Zara took them and placed them near the broken machines. What happened next made Jake question everything he thought he knew about science. Zara's hands began to glow. The light spread from her skin to the organic materials, and they started to change. The plant's roots grew longer and thicker, wrapping around the machine parts. The food rations dissolved into a kind of liquid that flowed into the machines. Broken circuits. Within an hour, the air recycler was working again. But it didn't look like a machine anymore. It looked alive, breathing in and out like lungs made of metal and plants. "Impossible," Chen whispered. Not impossible, Zara said. She looked tired but satisfied. Just different. My people learned long ago that life and machine work better together. Rodriguez stared at the living air recycler. You're not just explorers, are you? You're some kind of bioengineers? We are what we need to be, Zara replied. Right now, I need to be someone who keeps us all alive. Over the next few days, Zara transformed the dead mining station into something that could actually support life. She fixed the heating system by growing heat-producing organisms inside the vents. She repaired the water recycler by introducing bacteria that cleaned the water better than any filter. Jake's team slowly warmed up to her. Rodriguez stopped calling her the alien and started using her name. Chen spent hours asking questions about Velnari medicine and biology. Even Parker admitted that Zara had saved their lives, but it was during the long nights that Jake really got to know her. They would sit together while the others slept, talking about their worlds and their lives. Zara told him about Velnari cities that grew like forests and schools where children learned to speak with plants and machines. Jake told her about Earth's blue skies and vast oceans, and about Kate and how her death had changed him. You carry guilt, Zara observed one night, like weight on your soul. I was supposed to protect her, Jake said. Kate was my little sister. When the mine collapsed, I should have been there. And if you had been there, you would be dead too. Then who would have saved me? Jake looked at her. You think that's why it happened? So I would be here to help you? I think, Zara said carefully, that pain has purpose. Your pain made you someone who saves others, even when it is dangerous. Without that pain, you would have left me to die. Would that have been so bad? Jake asked. My team might be safe on the Endeavor right now instead of trapped here. Zara was quiet for a long moment. Do you know what my name means in your language? Jake shook his head. Blooming flower. My mother chose it because I was born during the first spring on our new colony world. She said I was proof that life finds a way to grow, even in the hardest places. Zara looked around the transformed station. This place was dead when we came here. Now it lives. Sometimes the hardest places grow the most beautiful things. Jake felt something shift in his chest. For the first time since Kate died, the weight of guilt felt a little lighter. Your people, he said. Do they have families like humans do? Yes, but different. We bond for life, not just with mates, but with friends, with work partners, with anyone who touches our soul deeply. Zara's skin flickered with soft light. These bonds are sacred. They cannot be broken, even by death. Sounds lonely if you never find someone to bond with. Zara looked at him with those strange, human-like eyes. Bonds are not found, Jake Morrison. They are chosen. And sometimes, they are chosen by people who are very different from each other. Something in her voice made Jake's heart beat faster. He wasn't sure what she meant, but the way she said his name made him feel like he was the most important person in the galaxy. Tell me about the pirates, he said, changing the subject. How do we stop them? Zara's expression grew serious. They have a base in the asteroid belt near your space. Hidden, but I know where. The data they stole from my ship has the locations of every weak point in human defenses. They will strike soon. How soon? Days, maybe weeks. Depends on how long it takes them to decode everything. Zara touched Jake's arm. But first, we must survive, and we must find a way to contact your people. The communications are still jammed. Then we make our own. Zara smiled, and for the first time since her rescue, she looked hopeful. Tomorrow I will show you how Velnari send messages across the stars. Jake found himself smiling back. With living machines? With something much older and more powerful than machines, Zara said. With life itself. As Jake settled down to sleep that night, he realized that saving Zara had changed more than just her life. It was changing his too, in ways he was only beginning to understand. The mining station looked nothing like it had a week ago. Living vines covered the walls, glowing softly and keeping the air fresh. The floors felt warm under their feet, heated by organisms that Zara had somehow grown into the metal itself. Even Rodriguez had stopped complaining about their situation. "This is incredible," Chen said as she watched Zara work on the communications array. "You're literally growing a radio transmitter." Zara smiled as she guided a series of plant-like structures into the broken electronics. "Not growing. Teaching. These organisms want to help. I just show them how." Jake watched from across the room. Over the past week, he had seen Zara transform their dead shelter into something that felt almost alive. But more than that, he had watched her transform his team from suspicious soldiers into something like friends. Yesterday, Rodriguez had risked his life to gather rare minerals from outside the station, after Zara mentioned they would help her healing process. Chen spent every free moment learning about Velnari medicine. Even Parker had started asking Zara about her home world during their evening conversations. But Jake felt something different when he looked at Zara. Something he didn't quite understand. "Jake," Zara called to him. "Can you help me with this?" He walked over to where she was working. The communications array now looked like a combination of metal and living tissue, with bioluminescent threads connecting different parts. "Hold. This steady while I connect the final links," she said. Jake placed his hands next to hers on the strange device. The moment their skin touched, he felt a jolt of electricity run through his body, not painful but warm and somehow familiar. Zara gasped and pulled her hands away. The blue lights under her skin flickered rapidly. "Are you okay?" Jake asked. "Yes, She looked confused. "I felt something. Like an echo." Before Jake could ask what she meant, the improvised radio crackled to life. A voice came through the static. "Captain Stone from the Endeavor. This is Captain Stone calling any survivors on Kepler 442b. Please respond." Jake grabbed the microphone. "Captain Stone, this is Morrison. We're alive and secure at the old mining station." "Morrison, thank God. We've been trying to reach you for days. Are all your people accounted for?" Jake looked at his team and then at Zara. "All 4 of us are here and healthy." There was a pause. "4? Morrison, you left with 3 people." "We have a survivor from the alien crash, sir. She's been helping us survive." Another longer pause. "Stand by, Morrison." Jake waited, knowing that Captain Stone was probably talking to his superiors about what to do with Zara. "Morrison," Stone's voice came back sounding official. "You are ordered to secure the alien and prepare for immediate extraction. A landing party will arrive in 6 hours." "Understood, sir." Jake turned off the radio and looked at Zara. She was staring at the floor and the lights under her skin had dimmed. "They will take me," she said quietly. "Not necessarily," Jake replied. But he knew she was right. Military protocol was clear about unknown alien species. "It's okay," Zara said. "I knew this would happen. At least I helped you survive. That makes my life worth something." Rodriguez slammed his fist against the wall. "This is wrong. She saved our lives." "She's not a threat," Chen added. "She's been nothing but helpful." Parker nodded. "The captain doesn't understand what she's done for us." Jake felt anger building in his chest. After everything Zara had done, they were going to treat her like a prisoner. Maybe worse. "There has to be something we can do," he said. Zara shook her head. "Your military has rules, just like mine does. I understand." But Jake could see pain in her eyes, even though she was trying to hide it. That night, while the others slept, Jake sat with Zara as they had every night since her rescue, but tonight felt different. Tomorrow she would be gone. "I want to show you something," Zara said. "But it requires trust." "What kind of trust?" "The kind that might change you forever." Zara's eyes were serious. "My people have abilities that yours do not. We can share memories, feelings, even thoughts. But only with someone we trust completely." Jake's heart was beating fast. "Why would you want to share with me?" "Because you saved me when everyone told you not to. Because you see me as a person, not just an alien. Because," she paused, looking uncertain, "because I have never met anyone like you, Jake Morrison." "What would happen if we shared?" I would see your memories and you would see mine. We would understand each other in a way that is usually only possible between Velnari who have bonded for life. Zara looked down at her hands. But it cannot be undone. Once we share, we will always be connected. Jake thought about Kate, about the promise he made at her funeral, about the way Zara had looked at him when he first found her. Would it hurt? No. It would feel like coming home. Jake reached out and took her hands. Show me. Zara's skin began to glow brighter. The light spread from her hands to his, and suddenly Jake was no longer sitting in the mining station. He was a child on the Velnari homeworld, running through forests of crystal trees with Zara and her friends. He felt her joy at discovering a new type of flower that could sing. He experienced her sadness when her parents told her she was too interested in other species, that it wasn't safe or proper for a Velnari. Then he was older, studying alien radio signals in secret, learning human languages from television broadcasts. He felt Zara's fascination with human emotions, with their capacity for both great kindness and terrible cruelty. He experienced her terror when the pirates attacked her ship, her grief when she watched her crewmates die, her resignation when she lay trapped under the beam waiting to die. And then he felt her shock and wonder when a human, when Jake, chose to save her instead of leaving her behind. At the same time, Zara was seeing his memories. His childhood with Kate, the mining accident, his guilt and pain, his years in the military trying to protect people the way he couldn't protect his sister, his loneliness and his need to matter to someone. When the sharing ended, they were both crying. I see why you saved me, Zara whispered. You have such a big heart, Jake Morrison. Too big for one person to carry alone. And I see why your people sent you away, Jake replied. You're too good for them, too willing to see beauty in other species. They sat in silence for a while, hands still touching. Jake could feel something different in his mind, a warmth that hadn't been there before. Like having a friend who was always with you, Zara, he said. The connection we just made, is it permanent? Yes. We are bonded now. I will always be able to sense your emotions and you will sense mine. If you are in danger, I will know. If you are hurt, I will feel it. She squeezed his hands. Is that okay? Jake smiled. For the first time since Kate died, he didn't feel alone. It's more than okay. The next morning, Zara became very sick. Her temperature spiked and she could barely stay conscious. Chen couldn't figure out what was wrong. It might be some kind of delayed reaction to her injuries, Chen said. Or maybe she's allergic to something in our environment. But Jake knew it was something else. Through their new connection, he could feel Zara's pain. Her body was rejecting something, not from the environment, but from the bond they had shared. What do you need? He asked her quietly while the others weren't listening. Crystalline minerals, she whispered. Deep in the caves below, but it's dangerous. The structures are unstable. Jake didn't hesitate. I'll get them. No, too risky. I will survive without them. But Jake could feel through their bond that she was lying. Without the minerals, she would die. Parker, Rodriguez, Chen, Jake called to his team. I need to go into the caves below the station. Zara needs specific minerals to survive. The caves are a death trap, Rodriguez said. One wrong step and the whole place could collapse. Then I'll be very careful. Captain, Parker said, the landing party will be here in 4 hours. If you're not back, then you'll have to explain to them why their only source of information about the pirates is dead. Jake was already putting on his equipment. Take care of her while I'm gone. The caves beneath the mining station were darker and more dangerous than Jake had expected. The walls were covered with strange crystal formations that looked beautiful, but made the whole structure unstable. One loud noise could bring the ceiling down. Jake searched for hours, following Zara's descriptions of what the minerals should look like. He found some small deposits, but not enough. He needed to go deeper. In the deepest part of the caves, Jake found what he was looking for, a wall covered with the blue-white crystals that Zara needed. But as he started to collect them, he heard an ominous cracking sound above him. The ceiling was starting to collapse. Jake grabbed as many crystals as he could and ran for the surface. Behind him, tons of rock crashed down, filling the tunnel he had just escaped from. He made it out with seconds to spare. When he got back to the station, Zara was unconscious and barely breathing. Jake crushed the crystals and mixed them with water, creating a blue liquid that Zara drank without waking up. Within minutes, color returned to her skin and the lights under it began to glow again. When she opened her eyes, the first thing she did was smile at Jake. "You risked your life for me," she said. "Of course I did. We're bonded now. Your life is my life." But something had changed during Jake's journey into the caves. Through their connection, Zara had experienced every moment of his dangerous trip. She had felt his determination too. The war room aboard the destroyer Perseus was crowded with officers, but Jake only had eyes for Commander Steve Walsh. The man stood at the head of the table like a mountain of muscle and authority, his cold gray eyes fixed on Zara. "So this is our alien," Walsh said. His voice could have frozen water. "3 weeks ago, Morrison, you were facing court-martial for disobeying orders. Now you're telling me this creature is our key to stopping the pirates?" Jake felt Zara's tension through their bond. She sat perfectly still in her chair, but he could sense her fear. "Sir, Zara has provided accurate intelligence about every pirate attack so far. Her information saved the colony on New Perth." "Convenient," Walsh replied, almost like she knew the attacks were coming. "Because she did know," Rodriguez spoke up from across the table. "The pirates stole data from her ship. She's been trying to help us stop them." Walsh's eyes moved to Rodriguez, then to Parker and Chen. All 3 of Jake's team members had spoken up for Zara during the past few days. It hadn't helped their military careers, but they didn't seem to care. "I've read your reports," Walsh said. "Very touching. The alien saves your lives, you all become friends, like a children's story." He walked around the table toward Zara. "But this is the real world. We've lost 12 colonies in the past month. Thousands of people are dead." Jake stood up. "Sir, with respect, Zara lost her entire crew to the same pirates. She wants them stopped as much as we do." "Does she?" Walsh stopped behind Zara's chair. "Or is this all part of some elaborate plan? Maybe the pirates and the aliens are working together." Through their bond, Jake felt Zara's flash of anger. The blue lights under her skin flickered brighter for just a moment. But when she spoke, her voice was calm. "Commander Walsh," she said, "I understand your suspicion. If our positions were reversed, my people would feel the same way. But I offer you proof." "What kind of proof?" Zara closed her eyes. The lights under her skin began to pulse in a steady rhythm. "Through our bond, I can see into Jake Morrison's memories. But the bond works both ways. I also absorbed memories from the pirates when they captured me." Jake felt a chill. Zara had never mentioned this before. "I know where their base is located," Zara continued. "I know their plans, their numbers, their weapons. I can guide your ships directly to them." Walsh leaned forward. "You're saying you can lead us to the pirate stronghold?" "Yes, but only if Jake Morrison leads the mission." The room went silent. Jake felt every eye in the room turn to him. "Explain," Walsh demanded. "The bond between us allows perfect coordination," Zara said. "I can share what I see and know instantly with him. In battle, this makes us far more effective than any normal team." Walsh's face was unreadable. "You're asking me to base a military operation on alien magic." "I'm offering you a chance to end this war before more of your people die," Zara replied. Over the next hour, Zara provided detailed intelligence about the pirate base. She described their defenses, their patrol patterns, even the personalities of their leaders. When her information allowed human forces to intercept and destroy a pirate raiding fleet, Walsh finally seemed convinced. "All right," he said. "We'll try it your way. Morrison, you'll lead a strike team to the pirate base. The alien goes with you." "Sir," Jake said, "what happens to Zara after the mission?" Walsh's expression didn't change. "That's classified, Captain." Jake felt ice in his stomach. Through their bond, he sensed that Zara understood too. After the mission, she would be eliminated as a security risk. That night, Jake found Zara alone in the observation deck looking out at the stars. "You know what Walsh is planning," he said. "Yes." Zara's voice was sad but not surprised. "It is what I expected from the beginning. We can't let it happen." Zara turned to look at him. "Jake, you have done more for me than anyone ever has. You saved my life, you shared your soul with me. I will not let you throw away your career and your life to protect me. My career doesn't matter if you're dead. It does matter. You're a good soldier, a good leader. Your people need you." Zara touched his face gently. "Promise me something. When this mission is over, let me go peacefully. Don't try to save me again." "I can't promise that." "Then you don't understand what our bond really means." Zara's eyes were bright with unshed tears. "When Velnari bond with someone, we do not try to possess them. We love them enough to let them do what they think is right, even if it hurts us." Jake felt her love through their connection, pure and selfless and overwhelming. It made his chest ache. "There has to be another way," he said. "Perhaps. But if there is not, promise me you will not destroy yourself trying to save me." Jake couldn't answer. The thought of losing Zara felt like losing Kate all over again, except worse because this time he could feel her pain as if it were his own. 3 days later, the strike force departed for the pirate base. Jake commanded a team of 20 Marines aboard a fast attack ship called the Ranger. Zara sat beside him on the bridge, her eyes closed as she guided them through the asteroid field where the pirates hid. "Left 10 degrees, she said without opening her eyes. "There's a patrol ship ahead, 3 crew members lightly armed." Jake relayed the information to his pilot. They slipped past the patrol without being detected. "The base is just ahead," Zara said, "hidden inside the large asteroid with the metal deposits." Jake could see it now, what looked like a natural asteroid but with weapon emplacements and docking bays carved into its surface. "How many ships?" he asked. Zara's face concentrated. 43 combat vessels, maybe 200 pirates total. "But Jake..." She opened her eyes and looked at him. "Some of them are human." "What?" "The pirate leaders. Some are from your species, some are from mine, some are from species I don't recognize. They work together to steal and kill." Jake felt sick. The idea that humans were working with aliens to attack human colonies was almost too horrible to believe. "Are you sure?" "I can see their memories through the bond. One of the human leaders is named Carl Mason. He used to be a captain in your military." Jake knew that name. Mason had been court-martialed 5 years ago for selling weapons to criminals. He was supposed to be in prison. "This changes everything," Jake said. "No," Zara replied. "It makes our mission more important. These pirates threaten everyone, not just humans or Velnari. They must be stopped." The battle began an hour later. Jake's Marines stormed the pirate base while Zara guided them through the complex tunnel system. Her ability to sense the pirates' locations before they could set up ambushes saved dozens of lives. But when they reached the main command center, they walked into a trap. Carl Mason was waiting for them with 50 heavily armed pirates. Worse, he had hostages, civilians from the colonies the pirates had attacked. "Captain Morrison," Mason said with a cruel smile. "I was wondering when you'd show up, and you brought our little alien friend. Let the hostages go, Mason. Your fight is with us. My fight is with whoever tries to stop me from making money." Mason gestured to his mixed crew of human and alien pirates. "See, Morrison, I learned something you military types never figure out. Loyalty to your own species is for suckers. Loyalty to profit is what really matters." Jake felt Zara tense beside him. Through their bond, he sensed that she was preparing to do something dangerous. "Don't," he whispered to her. "I have to," she whispered back. "Trust me." Before Jake could stop her, Zara stepped forward. "Carl Mason," she said, "you took data from my ship. Data about Velnari technology." "Damn right I did. Your people's bioweapons are worth a fortune on the black market. That data is encrypted with my personal genetic code. Without me alive to unlock it, it's worthless. Mason's eyes narrowed. What are you suggesting? A trade. Me for the hostages. You get your data unlocked, they get to live. Zara, no, Jake said. But Mason was already smiling. Deal. Come here, alien. Zara walked toward Mason, but as she moved, Jake felt something strange through their bond. She wasn't afraid. She was excited. When Mason grabbed Zara's arm, she suddenly pressed both hands against his chest. The lights under her skin flared brighter than Jake had ever seen them. Mason screamed and collapsed. Every piece of electronic equipment in the room sparked and died. The other pirates stood frozen, looking confused and scared. What did you do? Jake demanded. Bioelectric pulse, Zara said calmly. I overloaded every computer system in the base. Their ships can't launch, their weapons don't work, and all their stolen data just got wiped clean. Mason was still alive but unconscious. The other pirates, realizing they were trapped and defenseless, began surrendering. You could have told me the plan, Jake said as his Marines secured the prisoners. If you had known, you would have tried to stop me. The pulse could have killed me. Could have? Zara smiled weakly. I'm fine, but I'll need to rest for a few days. Jake realized that Zara had risked her life to save the hostages and complete the mission. She had chosen to protect others even when it meant endangering herself, just like he had done when he saved her. The mission was a complete success. The pirate base was captured, the hostages were freed, and the stolen data was destroyed. But when they returned to the Perseus, Jake knew that Zara's troubles were just beginning. Commander Walsh was waiting for them in the docking bay. Outstanding work, Morrison, he said. Your team performed perfectly. Thank you, sir. Zara's intelligence was crucial to our success. Yes, about that, Walsh. The Velnari diplomatic ship looked like a flower made of crystal and light as it approached the Perseus. Jake stood beside Commander Walsh on the bridge, watching the alien vessel dock with their ship. Through his bond with Zara, he could feel her nervous excitement. I never thought I would see another Velnari ship, she whispered. 3 Velnari ambassadors came aboard, their skin glowing with the same blue light as Zara's. But when they saw her standing next to Jake, their expressions changed from formal politeness to shock. Zara of the 7th House, the lead ambassador said in accented English. You are bonded. Yes, Ambassador Keth, Zara replied. With Captain Jake Morrison of Earth. The ambassador stared at Jake like he was some kind of impossible creature. A human bonding is not possible, another ambassador said. The genetic compatibility is not required for a soul bond, Zara interrupted. As you can see, Jake felt the ambassador's surprise through Zara's connection to them. Apparently, what had happened between him and Zara was even more unusual than he had realized. Commander Walsh stepped forward. Ambassadors, welcome aboard. I'm Commander Steve Walsh, representing Earth's military forces. Commander Walsh, Ambassador, Keth said, we come seeking information about the attacks on both our species. Our monitoring stations detected the destruction of the pirate base. We understand that Zara was instrumental in this victory. She was, Walsh admitted grudgingly. Her intelligence and abilities were crucial to our success. And yet, another ambassador said, we were told that you planned to imprison her for study. Walsh's face went red. That was a security precaution. That would have been considered an act of war, Ambassador Keth said quietly. Zara is a daughter of our people. To harm her would have consequences. Jake felt a moment of satisfaction. Walsh's plan to eliminate Zara would have started a war with an entire alien civilization. Over the next few hours, Jake learned the truth about the pirate attacks. The raiders weren't just criminals, they were part of a larger conspiracy involving rogue elements from multiple species, including humans. Their goal was to start a war between humanity and the Velnari, then profit from selling weapons to both sides. Carl Mason was just one of many human traders, Ambassador Keth explained. They believe that conflict is more profitable than cooperation. What do you propose we do about it? Walsh asked. We propose a joint task force, Keth replied. human and Velnari ships working together to hunt down the remaining conspirators. But such cooperation would require trust. What kind of trust? Ambassador Keth looked at Jake and Zara. The kind that already exists between your Captain Morrison and our daughter Zara. Their bond proves that our species can work together. Jake felt Zara's amazement through their connection. Her people, who had always seen her interest in other species as a weakness, were now treating it as a strength. There's just one problem, Walsh said. Morrison and his team resigned their commissions to protect Zara. They're no longer part of our military. Then perhaps, Ambassador Keth said with something that might have been a smile, it is time for new arrangements. 2 days later, Jake found himself in the strangest meeting of his life. He sat at a table with Ambassador Keth, Commander Walsh, and Admiral Sarah Brooks, who had arrived from Earth specifically for these negotiations. Captain Morrison, Admiral Brooks said, your actions over the past month have created a significant diplomatic situation. Yes, ma'am. By choosing to save an alien life at the risk of your own mission, you've opened the door to relations with an entirely new species. By refusing to abandon that alien when ordered to do so, you've prevented a potential war. Brooks looked at him with sharp eyes. Do you understand the implications of what you've done? I was just trying to do the right thing, Admiral. The right thing, Brooks repeated. Do you know what the right thing is now, Captain? Jake glanced at Zara, who sat beside him. Through their bond, he felt her encouragement. The right thing is to continue working together, humans and Velnari, fighting the real enemies instead of each other. Exactly. Admiral Brooks pulled out a data pad. I'm offering you a new position, Morrison. Head of the Joint Species Task Force. Your job will be to coordinate human and Velnari operations against the pirate conspiracy. Jake's heart jumped. What about my team? Rodriguez, Parker, and Chen will be your core staff, all with full rank restoration and commendations for their actions. Brooks looked at Zara. And Zara will be your official Velnari liaison. More than that, Ambassador Keth added, she will be our first permanent ambassador to humanity. Her bond with Captain Morrison makes her uniquely qualified to help our species understand each other. Jake felt Zara's joy through their connection. Not only would she survive, she would be doing exactly what she had always dreamed of, building bridges between different species. Over the following months, the Joint Species Task Force proved incredibly effective. Jake and Zara's bond allowed perfect coordination between human and Velnari forces. They could share information instantly, coordinate attacks without radio communication, and anticipate each other's needs in battle. But more importantly, their partnership inspired others. Rodriguez learned to work with a Velnari engineer named Tan, combining human military tactics with Velnari biotechnology. Parker partnered with a Velnari strategist who helped her develop new training programs. Chen worked with Velnari doctors to create medical techniques that neither species could have achieved alone. The pirate conspiracy was crushed within 6 months. The remaining human traitors were captured and tried for treason. The alien criminals were handed over to their respective governments for justice. But the real victory was bigger than just stopping the pirates. Jake stood on the observation deck of the new Joint Research Station orbiting Luna, watching Earth turn slowly below them. Velnari ships moved alongside human vessels in the space lanes, carrying diplomats and scientists and traders. Hard to believe it's only been a year, Zara said as she joined him at the window. Feels like a lifetime, Jake replied. Through their bond, he felt her contentment. She was happy here, working to build understanding between their species. Do you ever regret it? She asked. Saving me, I mean. Your life would have been much simpler if you had left me to die. Jake thought about the question seriously. His old life had been predictable and safe. Follow orders, complete missions. Try not to think too much about the bigger picture. Now he spent his days working with alien allies to solve problems that neither species could handle alone. He had responsibilities that spanned star systems. His decisions affected the lives of billions of people across multiple worlds, and he had Zara. Through their bond, he could feel her love and respect and partnership every moment of every day. He was never alone, never without someone who understood him completely. "No regrets," he said finally. "Best decision I ever made." "Even though everyone told you to leave me behind?" Jake smiled and took her hand. "Especially because everyone told me to leave you behind." Through the observation window, they could see a group of human and Velnari children playing together in the station's central park. Some were fully human, some were fully Velnari, and a few were the children of mixed couples who had followed Jake and Zara's example. "Look at them," Zara said softly. "A generation that will grow up seeing cooperation instead of conflict as normal. Think they'll do better than we did? I think they'll do things we never imagined possible." Zara's skin glowed softly with happiness. "And I think it all started with one human who chose compassion over protocol." Jake felt a familiar warmth in his chest, the same feeling he had experienced that first day when he decided to save an injured alien instead of following orders. "You know what the funny thing is?" he said. "What?" "I thought I was saving you, but I think you're the one who saved me." Through their bond, Jake felt Zara's laughter, bright and warm and full of love. "We saved each other, Jake Morrison. That's what partners do." As the earth turned below them and the stars wheeled overhead, Jake realized that his story with Zara was just beginning. They had built something beautiful together, not just their relationship, but a bridge between worlds that would last for generations. Everyone had told him to leave her behind. But by choosing to save her, he had saved something much bigger than either of them. He had saved the future itself. Years later, when historians wrote about the first contact between humans and Velnari, they would call it the Morrison Protocol, the idea that sometimes the most important decisions are made not by governments or militaries, but by individuals who choose to do what's right instead of what's safe. But Jake never thought of himself as a historical figure. He was just a man who had made a choice to help someone who needed help. Everything else had grown from that single moment of compassion. And every day, when he woke up beside Zara and felt their bond humming with shared love and purpose, he knew he would make the same choice again. The alien he had decided to save had indeed changed his life forever. But more than that, she had changed everything.